I can't believe I'm already awake. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey, and we are here to chat for a while, I suppose. How you guys doing? How are you? Did you guys have a nice Thanksgiving? I had an excellent Thanksgiving. It was already a good Thanksgiving. Everybody was here, except my son and the baby and the new mama. They weren't going to be able to make it because mom showed up anyway. And we ended up with the whole dinner. Drop some food on the baby. I'm not going to lie. Don't worry, it wasn't scalding hot. She didn't even notice. She just slept the whole time. But yeah, had a good Thanksgiving. Hope you guys did too. Now, my Black Friday started out as a Black Friday. Fuck. I wake up and one of my dog's puppy, or one of my daughter's puppies has had an upset belly in the middle of the night. Audio's breaking up. Oh, okay. We'll switch to the other internet. Give me just a second here. I should be back now. Hi. Sorry about that. Yeah. Might as well just get the switch back. I'm not planning on watching any video anyway, so this one's fine. Yeah, the doggy had a rough night, apparently. Something he ate yesterday ran right through him, and everybody's sleeping, so he just got as close to the outside as he could and did his business. And he's not a little dog. He's not a tiny dog. He's a big dog. He looks like a black German Shepherd, including all the sizing. And yeah, he had a rough night, and so I had a rough morning. It happens with animals, no big deal. But man, that is a horrible sight to wake up to. Just like, shit. And it's literal. So yeah. Anyway, is throwing food at the newborn a tradition? In fact, nuts, I did not throw food at the newborn. I just kind of dropped it on her. She was so sweet. And her big sister, man, oh my God. Every like 5 minutes, can I hold the baby? And then she'd be like, okay, I'm done holding the baby. She would hold the baby for quite a while, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. And then she's like, okay, I'm done. And just pass it off to somebody. And then 5 minutes later, can I hold the baby? Like, you're going to live with her. Let us have a couple minutes with the child. Go away. But yeah, all through dinner, got to hold her and several other times throughout the day too. Oh, she's so sweet, y'all. She just slept. She cried once for just a little tiny bit, and then she just went right back to sleep, which I can understand. I've done that before. Just wake up and be like, oh, fuck no. I'm going. The world ain't ready for me today. I'm just going back to sleep. It was good times, though. Good times. So, I don't really have much to talk about. I was busy yesterday. I snuck down to the internet a couple of times, and it wasn't to sneak to the internet. It was to have a cigarette. I didn't even really care about the internet. That doesn't mean I didn't see stupid shit. Like right now, there's a whole bunch of people cheering the fact that Kyle Rittenhouse has no money. His lawyer went on court TV and said that people think Kyle got rich after the shooting, which I don't understand why anybody would think that. Like shooting people just naturally comes with a whole bunch of money attached to it. But people cheering the fact this man has no money. He can't even. Every time he's tried to go to school, they drum him out. And his lawyer said he has a job. He's not like, he even says this, he's not living paycheck to paycheck exactly. He is working, but he doesn't have any money from, all the notoriety and fame. And there's people out there, oh, good. He deserves to be broke. He murdered people. He didn't murder people. You're retarded. Stop saying stupid shit. They think you got to keep all the money that the lawyers got. Yeah. If the one article I read said, was it $1,000 or $10,000? I want to say it was $1,000. There was one GoFundMe donation he got to keep, and I want to say it was $1,000, and that's it. And it's been a while since he got that. Believe it or not, it's hard to live in Biden's America on $1,000. So, yeah. One person said this: 2 people didn't get to be with their families this Thanksgiving. Well, one of them likely would have beat his grandma, and the other one likely would have, molested a child. So I'm all right with that, if I'm being honest. Plus, they tried to harm a child. Fuck them. Got some really fucked up heroes in this country, man. White people do it too, apparently. But JoJo was such a sweet boy. Yeah, Zochel said at his trial when he banged a 9-year-old. He's such a sweet boy. He's just got so much love, it falls out of him into 9-year-olds. That was fucking horrible. I can't believe I said that. So yeah, I was reading all these dumbass comments. Now he deserves it. He's a murderer. Y'all don't understand what murder is, do you? They think murder is, killing anybody who was using the riots to pretend to be virtuous people as they did other horrible shit. I really can't believe that we're still on this. That, for a side that tells me constantly that I need to not spread misinformation and pay attention to the science and all their bullshit that basically is like, you need to tell the truth, which is what they're saying. Let's be honest. You need to tell the truth. It's amazing how much they lie. It is absolutely amazing. Let me give you an example here. Brian Stelter, I just saw this, even though he posted it a couple of days ago. He tweeted out this. Let's put this on the screen here for everybody, so you can see what this fat potato fuck said. He said, big news outlets have standards and practices. They have processes for approving the use of anonymous sources. They have checks and balances. Fox mostly does not. Thus, its claim about a Niagara Falls terrorist attack was rushed onto the air and online wrongly and recklessly. And it's fair to call Fox News out for calling that a terrorist attack if it wasn't. 100% fair. However, Brian, you wrote this on the 22nd of November. I happen to know at that time Kyle Rittenhouse was trending. And a lot of your friends out there, you didn't even need to have anonymous sources. You didn't. All of it was on fucking video. And you guys went out there and said this man murdered black people. Everybody he shot was white. He shot at a black guy and missed. It's the one shot he missed. But you guys went out there and told all kinds of lies. What about Jesse Smollett? Remember him? Do we even need to go over what happened there? The Covington case? Now, in the meantime, there's been a whole bunch of other cases where these guys have gotten shit wrong, and we've covered them. We've covered a bunch of them. But those are just some of the easiest ones to go to because they were so big and so public. We have standards and practices. Do you? Do you really? Because if you do, I feel like they're not really doing their job. You didn't even need an anonymous source. In Covington, there was video. In the Smollett case, there was his claim that he went to go get Subway at 2:00 in the morning in minus 40-degree weather. That alone tells you that was fucking stupid. Pissgate, yeah. The whole Trump fiasco with the Russiagate nonsense. All of that nonsense and easily verifiable shit. And you guys all ran with it. We have standards and practices. No, you don't. You have motives and agendas. There's no standards and practices. What the fuck are you talking about? We cover what you idiots say. Somebody tweeted a quote to me. I forget who it's originally said to. It says, no matter how much you hate the media, it's not enough. And that's very true. I don't think you should hate them to the point of any, physical violence or anything like that. But you should not trust what these shitbags say. You really shouldn't. Because most of them do have a pretty clear agenda and they don't even try to hide it. I mean, they do, like here. Brian's trying to get back into journalism because he's been, pushed off to the side after whatever he had on the head of CNN didn't matter anymore because that guy went away. and his fat little ass got fired for being a piece of shit partisan hack. But he's trying to get back in their good graces. And so that's what this is all about. And of course, taking a shot at Fox, because that's all Brian's career's ever been is anti-Fox. His show, what was it called? Reliable Sources. That show should have just been called I Hate Fox News, because that's all it was. Did I ever tell you Brian Stelter once responded to me? He responded to the monkey on the screen. Because I pointed out that he got scooped on Chris Cuomo getting fired, and he's like, no, I was on there, and I used Twitter to prove that he actually got scooped. He didn't respond when I proved him wrong. He's this dumb fat little ass. That's who he is. We have standards and practices. Shut up, you fat bitch. Seriously, I don't like that man. I really don't like that man. He's all that's wrong with American media rolled up into a fat little ball of hate. Just, grr, I hate everything. I'm going to lie and get my way. By the way, Fox News sucks. You guys have heard me talk about Fox News. I'm not a fan of Fox News. But for this motherfucker to single them out like they're the only ones who get shit wrong. They didn't vet their sources well enough. You said Donald Trump got peed on in a hotel by two hookers in Russia. You could have easily... Did you guys see Donald Trump talking about that the other day? Donald Trump is giving a speech somewhere, I forget, and he brings up the P-Gate scandal. And I'm not making this up. The people on Twitter are like, oh, he keeps bringing that up. That must mean it's true. And they were not being ironic. They were not being silly. They were not being facetious. They actually were trying to be like, hey, since he keeps pointing out that they lied about him, obviously it's not a lie. Are you fucking real? You can't be a real person. That's just retarded thinking. What's up, Bear? How you doing, my friend? I had a great Thanksgiving, dude. My whole family, my whole immediate family, minus my brother who's down south, but me, my children, my grandchildren, everybody was here, and it was great. It was great, including the new baby, dude. The new baby I got to hold her the whole day. You and me need to talk again soon, my friend. If you're available now, we can do it now. Otherwise, you and I, we really do. We need to get together and chat. We haven't talked in. I went to send Alex a message today, and I realized the last time we DM'd each other was back in fucking October, early October, if I remember correctly. That's way too long for me and him to go without talking to each other. That's my brother from an English mother right there, and that's too long. That's too long. So yeah, I've just been paying attention to the silly shit going on the internet as little as I can. I see Willie Mack had an argument with a Hassan fan. I did not get to watch it, unfortunately. That's on my to-do list. I won't get to watch it until probably Saturday, but oh yeah, dude. Yeah, we will just find a time to talk there. Absolutely we will. But yeah, I don't care if you like Hassan, but it's kind of like Brian Stelter there, right? If you're a Hassan fan, it's okay to admit he gets shit wrong. And it's okay to admit that he's a hyperbolic partisan asshole, because that's what he is. He is selling a product to dumb people. And I guess maybe that's why it's so hard to admit that he gets shit wrong, because that means you're the dumb person. But it's okay to admit people got stuff wrong. Oh yeah, he got that one wrong. I still like him. He got that one wrong. There's people out there that I like who get shit wrong. And you don't do them any service by lying about whether or not they got really simple shit wrong. I see that Hassan, or that Willie Mack, has been pissing all over Hassan, or however you spell his name. Friggin' brag to grifting shit. Yeah, look, man. For the record, Willie Mack has made videos about Hassan before. His first Hassan videos were a year ago, and he made two of them about how bad Hassan is at covering news, about how he just lies to his audience. And there wasn't as big a deal made of it, but for some reason, with the two latest ones, Hassan got mad and his fans got really mad, which, I mean, I guess how do you defend somebody like him? The guy's just a liar. He just is. And there's no getting around that. Just say it. Just say it. It's popping off over there in Ireland. I don't know if you guys been following this shit. There was some protests. There were some peaceful protests in Ireland because an Algerian stabbed 3 children and 2 adults, killed the children, if I remember correctly. I think killed the adults too. Am I right on that? I'm sure Bear knows more about that than I do because it's closer to him. But the Irish are pissed off because they're like, stop bringing murderous migrants into our country. And the Irish government's like, nah, bruh. Nah, lassie. We're going to keep bringing them in here and letting them kill your kids. So, I don't even know what to think. It's not my country. If it was let's be honest. It's not like we don't have illegals over here committing all kinds of crimes. And they like to tell us, immigrants are the most law-abiding citizens. No. Break that up. Legal versus illegal. Yes, our legal immigrants do a decent job, especially compared to us chipbag Americans. But when you add the illegals in, let me help you out there. Every illegal is a criminal. Literally every one of them. It's in the name. Illegal. Fuck. I think they're still live. Getting updates has been difficult as it's been flooded with the usual. Oh, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I couldn't remember if I heard that the 3 kids died or not. But yeah, they got stabbed. Fucking Algerian just wandering around with a knife. Don't worry, at least he didn't have a gun, right? But there was there's a video going around. What's the name of that Irish town? I might be able to find it. But there's an Irish town over there, and the most popular boy's name last year in an Irish town, in Ireland, not like me saying I'm Irish, actually in Ireland, was Muhammad. And like, why are people upset about that? You guys know how I talk about I don't care what color somebody is. I care about their values and stuff. I'm just going to throw this out there. If you're naming your child Mohammed, you and I probably have very different values. Not necessarily. I mean, we might not, but there's a good chance. I would say 95% chance our values are ridiculously different. Muhammad, probably Limerick. No. I want to say it starts with a G. I can't find it on my Twitter. I don't care that. You know what? I think Tommy Robinson. Bear, how much are you liking having Tommy Robinson back? He's back on Twitter. I'm pretty sure he retweeted it earlier. Let me see. For the record, I didn't follow him because he came back. I was following him when he got kicked off, and it just popped back off. No, it's not that one. He posts a lot, man. Tommy posts a lot. I wonder if he just had all of this built up in him, I need to get back there. And then when he finally did, it just flooded out of him. Okay, yeah, I can't find it. Don't care. Some town in Ireland. Yeah, Muhammad is their most popular name. And people are like, why is that a problem? Well, I'm guessing St. Patrick's not going to be a big deal for them. That's all I'm saying. They're naming all their children Muhammad. I think they're probably going with different religious figures in their future. Oh, fuck. Oh, my God. Because it's not Irish. Yeah. Well, it's not just that it's not Irish. It's that it's specifically Muslim. And again, I'm sorry, Muslims. Some of you have tried to integrate, and that's wonderful, but your religious beliefs are not compatible with Western society. I didn't write the fucking book. Your man Muhammad did. At least that's what I'm told. And what's written in there is kind of fucked up. Your actual beliefs are contrary to progressive Western values. And when I say progressive, I'm not talking blue-haired feminists screaming because somebody called her a she when it's a she, but she wants to be known as a he. I'm talking about freedom of speech and movement and not having to wear a beekeeper suit if you're a woman and walking through the streets and have to have a chaperone and 4 people to verify your rape, which to me actually sounds more like some kind of weird voyeuristic thing. But I'm talking about those kind of Western progressive values. It's not about their skin cultures or skin color. It's about their culture. Yes, exactly. And in this case, we're talking their deep-seated religious beliefs. And like, no, just let them in because there's some bad stuff going on over there. Well, tell them to go fix that bad shit over there. Who's causing that bad shit over there? It's people who believe like them. You fucking idiots. They just have a slightly different version of how warlordy their warlord savior was. For fuck's sake. They're running away from those Muslims. I mean, those Shia. Got to be careful. Can't call them Muslims. You got to say it's a Shia or Sunni. Yeah. Like Catholic versus Protestant, right? That's all it is. I'm going to get myself in so much trouble. This is what happens when I don't have things to talk about specifically. I don't really care about that idiot. Did you guys see the idiots who... I said we weren't going to watch video, but we'll throw this one on because we don't really care if it's choppy, because fuck these little idiots. We had some environmental protesters who are also this. I love their slogan: "Liberation for Palestine and planet." Sure, why not? They glued themselves to the street during the Macy's Day Parade. There's like 7 or 8 of them. We're going to shut this volume off because I do not care. We'll let it choppily play in the background. They glued themselves to the street and poured fake blood on each other and were chanting liberation for Palestine and planet. My opinion is that they should have just let the floats and stuff run over them. They glued themselves to the street. And they don't have where the police actually remove them because they've glued their hands, you see. I wanted to see that part. And the police are being really nice, like, fuck, how do we deal with this retard? And what they should have done is just ripped them up. Just been like, grab them underneath the arm and lift. Because I guarantee you that glue was not strong enough. Well, maybe they were using a really good epoxy, but I just lift them up and raw. Detach him from the ground. It'd have been fine. The hands, my hands bled. Yeah, it's because you're a retard. You glued yourself to a street, idiot. Is there anything sadder than a woman with a man bun? That is a woman with a man bun. I'm sure they're non-binary. It's a non-binary bun. Jesus. So yeah, they all got marched away. They got booed. It didn't really hold up the parade too much. And then they, why the fake blood? Because of all the horribleness going on in I don't need to see that guy's crotch. Going on in Palestine and in the planet. She couldn't even get over the gate. She fucking fell. Yeah. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 7 people total. Poured blood on her own. Their things have different writings on it. That one says genocide. This one says capitalism. That damned capitalism. How did you buy all that shit? I'm fairly certain there's not a communist sign developing place around. But yeah, these idiots trying to hold up the parade. Kids just trying to enjoy the balloons that they like, right? Snoopy or whatever they like these days. I saw Chase was in there from Paw Patrol, so that's probably probably a little more topical. Although they had the guy from One Punch, not One Punch, one of those damn anime shows. I don't know anime. So yeah, that's what they were doing while the kids are trying to enjoy a parade. It's a parade, man. One Piece, that's what it is. Thank you, Hey Camel. Too many ones in anime, that's all. So they have one of those balloons too for people who like anime. So they had lots of the cool balloons out there. The only part of the parade I've ever liked, even as a child, was the balloons and Santa Claus at the end. It's all I cared about. I don't care about marching bands. I don't care about people from daytime TV shows waving. I don't care about that shit. I like to see the big ass balloons and Santa Claus. So I'm not even in favor of the parade necessarily, but I don't hate parades so much that I'm going to ruin everybody else's fun with them. My wife loves parades. So we watch it every year. It's always on the TV when it comes. And these assholes are trying to ruin that for my wife and my children and grandchildren who enjoy that stuff because they are retarded. I just saw someone saying 9-year fully grown woman on Twitter. What was it, Muhammad? I'm just asking for a friend. Asking for a friend in Ireland. Oh God. Yeah, but this was recorded apparently by Freedom News TV. And they marched these little rejects off. I don't know what happened to them. They'll probably get a slap on the hand. They're trying to get the press back. Like, hey, get the press back. We gotta stop recording these idiots. Somebody might try to find out who they are. Don't do that. Get their arrest records. That's a proper way to do it. But anyway, yeah. So there you go. You got. I'll throw that in the chat if anybody wants to watch the rest of it because it was on YouTube. Oh, shut up. Sorry, the volume just started playing in my ear, and the lady, free Palestine. Yeah, did you see the Palestinians and the Jews came to a ceasefire agreement? It lasted 15 minutes before Hamas fired a fucking rocket. Because of course, at least that's what's reported. I'm just throwing that out there. That's what was reported. 15 minutes after the ceasefire goes into effect, there's a rocket fired because of course there is. They're trading hostages for prisoners, and they keep telling you child prisoners. I just want to point out for the record, the youngest prisoner in Israel that they're talking about is 14. But there's only a handful of them that age. Most of them are the children they're talking about are 16 to 18, which still technically children, but they'd been involved in violence. So it's not like they were just running around being Muslim and the Jews went, get him. These are people who were arrested during violent demonstrations. And so the Hamas is like, we'll give you back the people who were, dancing if you give us back the ones who were, being terrorists. And so they got this this ceasefire for what is it? I forget how long it is. Is it 48 hours, 4 days, a week? I forget. Doesn't matter. It's not going to last anyway. But once again, the Jews are going to, all right, fuck it. Here, we'll give you these. Will you leave us the fuck alone now? They're like, no, we still need to blow you up. Notice it's a ceasefire. It's not Hamas going, hey, we're not going to fire him anymore at all. We're done. It is a scheduled ceasefire for a limited number of days. And they're like, no, then we get to kill Jews again. We like to kill the Jews. Here's a couple of your people back. Oh, God, I fucking hate these people. I hate what's going on in our world. And you know what? Shitty stuff happens in the world all the time. What I really hate is the reaction here. The reaction, and not just in America, but in the Western world in general. I'm really getting on this defending the Western world train. I saw somebody trying to defend slavery today, and I'm not making that up. Dude's like, no, slavery is natural. Really not, homie. I'm not going that far into colonization, but colonizing stuff and cleaning shit up and making it better is a good thing. Progress is a good thing. I don't know about you guys, but we ate so much food yesterday that I felt bad. I still, my stomach with the medicines I take, I've told you guys many times, I don't feel hunger and I don't feel full the way you guys do. It just feels like there's a brick in my stomach. I just feel pressure. And let's just say I was pressured all night long. There's so much abundance in this country that they're not talking about our poor people starving in the streets, because nobody does that here. What they talk about is food insecurity. They went a little hungry. And even food insecurity doesn't mean going hungry. But and look, I don't want anybody to be hungry. But that's the argument, is that, hey, they might be a little bit hungry. And you look at poor people in third world countries or in places that they want us to, embrace with open arms. And there's people actually dying from hunger. We need to stop colonizing. I think we need to colonize more. I think we need to spread Western values throughout the world and knock it off with this communist shit and this other nonsense that everybody's like, all cultures have value. Do they? Do they really? I feel like even Western culture, we have disagreements. Like in the UK, your age of consent is 18 or is 16, and there's a few states here in the United States where it's the same thing. And I'm like, no, that needs to be bumped up at least to 18. We're advanced enough in our society that you don't need to be banging, 16-year-olds. Just my opinion. But see, we can't even agree on everything just within Western. We have a general framework. And they're like, no, cultures who are like the Muhammad banging his 9-year-old wife was fine. No, bro. We should be able to agree prepubescent is no. That's just no. Anyway. And yes, disagree with my country's age of consent. And look, man, there's several places here in the United States where 16 is still the age. And Christ, can we get that bumped up? You have some people, we're like, no, 16 is the perfect age for a wife. You mean husband, and we all know it. Stop it. And I love when I amuse myself. Anyway, moving along. What else do we have besides those idiots today? That's all I had for today that I actually sent out. What was sent to me? I know there was stuff sent to me. I don't know if it was something worth talking about on the show. What was this one? No. Oh man, there were several news clips that I wanted to talk about, and I didn't save any of them, so we're not gonna. We're just gonna chat, you and me. I'm gonna do what all the lazy people do and make you guys make my content for me. Put them on a float and flog them for the enjoyment of the crowd. Oh, you know what? That would have been a great way to handle those idiots who were trying to block up the parade. And you know what? No. Instead of flogging them for the enjoyment of the crowd, you pass out little whips all the way down the parade route, and you just zigzag, back and forth, so each side gets to beat on them a little bit. What is it with these idiots and their protest? I do not like protests. I think there's only donation come through. There's only two kinds of protests: the ones that are completely meaningless and the ones that are really violent and still meaningless. Those are what happen. Nothing changes from them. All that happens is you have people making other people's lives miserable, like it's going to change a damn thing. Like suddenly I'm going to be like, oh my God, you're right. Capitalism sucks because that fucking retard is blocking traffic. Thank you, Evolved Potato. In the name of decolonization, South Africa just took land from white farmers. Didn't buy it, just took it. But then the new farmers didn't know how to farm, and they begged for their white farmers to come back. That's decolonization for you. Yeah, I mean, it's a a microcosm of what happened with communism, right? All the people who've been working the land, they're like, you guys are horrible. Let's bring in the academics. Oh shit, 100 million people are dead because we ran out of food. Fuck. If only we had farmers. Thank you, Richard. Hey, Ranting Monkey. Seriously, I'm drunk. Just a couple of questions. Best horror movie no one has seen, and best 9mm for home defense. Okay. When it comes to guns, I know nothing about guns. I know how to fire a gun. I know how to load a gun, and that's it. You actually want to catch Jack when he's on the show. Jack is very knowledgeable about firearms. I am not, unfortunately. Best horror movie no one's seen. Ooh. Again, probably a question for Jack. I tend to be more mainstream when it comes to that kind of stuff. My favorite is still the original Nightmare on Elm Street. But like when you're going off the beaten path for different things, these days I would say something like House or House 2, because you say that to the younger generations, they're like, you mean where I live? No. There were some horror movies back in the late 80s, early 90s ish is when the House movies came out, I think. But yeah, I'm not real deep on those. I tend to just like what's popular. Okay, I'll watch it and see if I like it. I don't have a lot of time for random movies. I watch a lot of crap, but it's stuff I can watch in chunks, right? And I can't do that with a movie. If I have to watch a movie over several sittings, like something interrupted it or something, I just lose interest altogether. Oh, anyway, by the way, the chat probably can give you much better answers than I can on both of those questions, but thank you for the donation. Oh, and yeah, Michael Hatfield starts off with a good question about that. How much are you looking to spend if you're actually looking for advice on what to buy? When it comes to guns, spending is going to be one of your biggest things. I get bored watching movies. It depends on what movie it is. Depends on what kind of movie we're looking at. I tend to like funny movies. I will watch a good drama, but it's got to be a good one. And I think these days, and maybe I'm being a little harsh because I don't watch a lot of movies, but the ones I do, the drama just is so forced. Writers seem to have lost the ability to be subtle in any way, or they think the audience is retarded. Like, so we have to spell it out. There's an episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia where they're making the movie. I think it's Lethal Weapon 6. It might be 7. But Matt keeps explaining, hey, we have to explain this. And they're like, no, people will understand it. No. We have to say exactly why this is happening. It's like, no, the audience will get it. And if you watch that and watch modern film, it really does seem to be what they're doing these days. Like, the guy can't just be grumpy because his dad died, right? He's got to sit there and be like, I'm so upset that my dad died. You know, he can't just be Batman. He's got to sit in the Batcave and constantly talk about how dad died in front of him. Hey, I used to be a normal boy. Then my dad got shot. Did I mention my dad got shot? Yeah. And the drama is just so forced, and it's so unearned in so many cases. That's a phrase you've been hearing around here for the better part of a decade now, but unearned. They want you, like, somebody will die on screen and they'll play the sad music, and you've only seen them for 2 seconds. You have no fucking idea who they are. You don't care about them. But his name was Piggy. Nobody cares about Piggy. Piggy was not a part of our lives. But the music is playing, so now you understand? The sad music is playing, so you have to be sad now. I don't care about that guy. He was literally not. It'd be like, you guys have seen Saving Private Ryan, right? And at the beginning of it, you have all of these people who are killed because it's the Normandy invasion. But it would be like taking one of those people and be like, oh man, his death on screen just completely devastated me. His death compared to the ones later when you see the squad who's going out to save Ryan, as each of them dies, they were with you for the movie. You actually got to know them. There's an attachment there because you grow with the character. The guys on the beach, yeah, Normandy sucked, but I don't know that guy. That's just a dude that they decided to be like, okay, you're dead guy number 45. So, I mean, I really hate modern writing because it sucks. It sucks really bad. Never seen Saving Private Ryan. It's a good movie. Even Vin Diesel. Yeah, Vin Diesel, I mean, his character, we don't get a lot of time with him, but we at least get enough to care about it when he's killed, especially the way he's killed. He goes to try to save that little girl. So, I mean, at least we have this guy who's trying to be heroic and save this family. He's the one that gets. At least we have something to care about his character for, you know. Spoiler alert! Not sorry about that. But yeah, at least they gave us something to have an attachment to this guy. He does die pretty early. He's the first one that goes, and you can make the argument that there wasn't enough to be connected, but at least we got something there. Just saw the 25th anniversary screening of Saving Private Ryan on Monday. Yeah, I like Saving Private Ryan. For the record, that is an entirely made-up movie, and the premise is nonsense. There is no U.S. military rule that if 4 of your kids die, the 5th one gets to go home free. That's not real. That is not something Lincoln introduced. There have been several families that have been completely wiped out in war. I'm all right with it. It's been out a bit. Yeah. Sorry. Well, that's why I went with something like Saving Private Ryan. It's not exactly spoiler alert at this point. It's how the hell have you not seen that movie? That goes back to when Tom Hanks was making a lot of really good movies back to back. Although I still maintain Forrest Gump does not deserve any Oscars or anything. It was an interesting movie. Maybe for special effects, they deserved it at the time. They kind of had the first real deep fake we saw for most of us. Yeah. Apparently 25 years and now I feel old. Yeah. I don't know how old you are, Bubba, but at my age, you start hearing things like this is this old. And you're like, I'm sorry, what just happened there? I was just 15 last year, I swear. And then you start thinking about, all of the life you've lived. All right. What else we got? Oh man. I don't know. Let's go over here. You guys don't see where I'm going. I'm going to an aggregate site, not the Drudge Report, which is where I used to go, but this one just grabs headlines. Oh, Oklahoma Walmart employee arrested waiting in parking lot with a gun after threatening to shoot coworkers, according to police. Can I be honest with y'all? I'm not saying this should happen. I'm not saying it should, but I'm like this donation comes in. I'm shocked there's not more shootings at Walmart. Got my ticket for Godzilla -0 in IMAX. Nice, man. That's one I want to see, but I will probably wait until it's available on home video. I will definitely wait till it's available on home video. Pumpkin Trucker, thank you so much. Modern versus older writing. I will never feel as bad than watching a fucking horse sink into that fucking swamp. A-Tracks, please. That's Never Ending Story. I was not as big a fan of Never Ending Story as all my friends and contemporaries were. It was an okay movie, but I thought it was more depressing than it needed to be in a lot of ways. And I'm not a depressing person, really. Although my favorite movie is An Officer and a Gentleman, and a dude kills himself in that one. So maybe it's just the kind of depressing. Going back to Walmart, I worked at Walmart for 10 years. I worked there for a full decade of my life. I am shocked that please, Walmart people, do not shoot anyone. But when you hear about like disgruntled employees and such, do you know how many disgruntled employees are there? And how many relationship triangles they have there. I'm not going to call it a love triangle because it's not really that. It's, hey, we work together, let's hump. How much of that shit goes on at Walmart? That shit is it's like a constant. And I've told you guys before, one of our he was, what was he? Co-managers, that's what they were called. Which, if you have never worked at Walmart, you have your manager, your store manager, and then they used to have what they called co-managers, which are right under him, and then you have your assistant managers, and then you have all your hourly employees. And one of our co-managers offed himself because his wife was banging somebody at the store she worked at, because she worked at a different Walmart. This stuff, it happens constantly. There is a whole lot of hanky panky going on in the Walmart pool, and it always amazed me when you hear about somebody losing their mind. I've always been shocked that it hasn't happened more at Walmart. I don't want it to happen at Walmart. I like that it doesn't happen at Walmart. I like that the crazies that you run into are at least not that crazy, but it has always shocked me. Mean Girls is a great movie, and every time I watch it, the most accurate high school movie ever. I don't like Mean Girls. I don't like Mean Girls because you have the mean girl part of it at the beginning, where that, to me, I don't want to say it's an accurate high school portrayal, because that's not how my high schools were. But then they have kind of the whole love fest thing that goes on, and that would never fucking happen. It just wouldn't. Walmart's safer than you think. Yeah. Walmart has tougher people. Yeah. Well, I guess it's like, well, she's humping. I know this is a true story. I know a guy at Walmart. Him and his wife work there. And he banged somebody else that worked there. And when she asked him, why did you do that? This was his answer. I wanted to know what it was like to bang a skinny girl. I wanted to know if she was more flexible. His wife was a big chick. She was a big girl. And he told her that he banged the other girl that we all worked with because he wanted to know if she could bend her legs up higher than his wife could. By the way, her husband worked there too. All four of them worked in that store. So, yeah. That might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard a guy say to his wife. And for the record, they're still married. Nobody in that situation ended up divorced. Both couples are still together to this day. I guess they just really did need to experiment. He needed to get that out of his mind and be like, no, that bitch isn't any more flexible than you are, sweetie. He didn't listen to Shaggy? Wasn't me. Yeah, right. Why did she put up with that? Love makes you do some silly stuff. And you know what? I'm gonna be honest again. If that's his only dalliance and they've been happy ever since, and he's never put his wiener in anybody else, I'm okay with her being like, yeah, I'm gonna give my marriage another try. They had 2 kids, and both couples had kids. They had 2, and the other couple had 1, and have since had a second. But I mean, I've never been one of those people who's like, throw away your whole relationship because of an affair. I don't think that's all right. I think it's on a case-by-case basis, especially if you got kids, man. So she's a masochist. You want my honest opinion of why? I don't know why I keep saying honest. I'm always honest with you guys. You want my opinion on why she stayed with him? Honestly, damn it, I can't stop myself. She wasn't very attractive. And she was a big girl. And when I say big girl, I don't just mean she was overweight, which she was. She was also as tall as me. I'm 6 foot tall, and the bitch was almost my size. So she's a big girl. And she wasn't the most personable person. She's not one of those ugly chicks, but she has such a great personality. She didn't have a great personality either. So I think she, in her situation, it might have been the kids. And I think most of it was that she didn't think she was going to get anyone else. She was a troll. I wouldn't go that far because she is a friend of mine. She's absolutely friendly. She was nice to me. We always got along fine. She worked in in the department right next to me. She worked in pharmacy when I worked in HBA. You ever hear the '70s Yankee wife swapping story? I have not. Is from the baseball team where they swapping partners. What's the chance he's ever done it again? Well, that's another weird thing. I'm not sure how he did it in the first place because he wasn't attractive either. And he was a straight up asshole. He was a douchebag. Me and him did not get along before that ever happened because he thought his shit didn't stink and he was a useless douchebag. I did not like that guy at all. The other two in the situation, I got along with 3 out of the 4 in that story. But yeah, that's the kind of thing that makes me think, how has nobody ever shot up a Walmart? And then somebody finally shoots up a Walmart and it turns out to be some weirdo in Texas that had nothing to do with working there. All I'm saying is if we ever see one, is like, yeah, some dude came in and shot up the place. He used to work there. I'd be like, yeah, I get it. Not that I would have ever done. Even on my worst day, I would never do that to the people who work there. Punching a manager in the face wouldn't have been out of the question, though. There were a couple of managers who really did deserve it, but I didn't want to go to jail. I don't want to be in jail, you know. I'm too pretty for that. Bubba says, to be fair, that is any workplace. Well, the difference with Walmart is that, especially at this time, it's all over the news for how much it sucks, right? And everybody there felt like they were being cheated. It's amazing. It's amazing how many lazy, worthless people that work at Walmart think that they are the best employee ever, and they don't understand why that person over there who actually did work got the highest pay raise you can get, which they didn't even know because the person wasn't talking about how much they got. And they got a raise, and I got the shitty raise. I work the same as they do. No, you don't. I'm your supervisor. No, you don't. You're lazy as fuck. You spend most of your time talking. I've never seen you once straighten up the register that you're at. I've never once been like, where are you at? And found you working. But everybody feels like they are the hardest worker there. And it is so, I was open about my laziness. After it became clear that they weren't going to let me become a manager, I became kind of an asshole. I took advantage of the systems that were in place, which isn't even necessarily true because I still worked quite hard and got a lot done. I just didn't do what management wanted me to do. And it gave me great pleasure ignoring their ideas and still selling better than they wanted me to. Working the same hours doesn't mean you work the same. Yeah. But no, I'm here every day too. Shut up. Why didn't they let you become a manager? Well, that's a good question. Okay, you guys watch this show, right? You quiet quit. No, because I didn't just do the minimum. I still worked my ass off. My departments always did very well. They were stocked, they were clean. My employees could do everything I could do and would take care of it. My shit was taken care of. I told them to go fuck themselves is what I did. Bubba says you didn't have a degree. No, it wasn't that. Okay, so the first time I applied for manager, they definitely should have turned me down because I did not have the experience. I'd only been a department manager for like 3 months. And I didn't take that one personally. The next time it comes up, let's just say me and the manager didn't get along. And that is pretty much the truth of it until there's this one time where they said they're going to take anybody. They were so desperate for managers. They're like, if you want to be a manager, sign up now because you'll probably get in. And I did not sign up for it. And my boss asked me, this boss who'd kept me from being a manager before, how come he didn't sign up this time? because I don't want it if just everybody's getting it. Now, that was the wrong way to be. It's kind of like affirmative action, right? And this was basically monkey affirmative action at that case. Oh God, that just came out real wrong. This was frank affirmative action, which is used my real name on it. And what I should have done is take it and been the best manager I could be, just to show them up. Fuck you, you should have gave it to me before. But I was younger and dumber, and I made a mistake there. But he asked me, but it's true. I didn't want it if they were just giving it to everyone. And then the next time I went up for it, we had our new manager, the one store manager I ever liked, and it's the furthest I got in it. He recommended me and everything. However, by this time I'd already upset the district manager more than once, and he put a kibosh on that. He's like, no. Long story short, Monk needs to learn to keep his mouth shut, and I didn't. It's one of the things I've tried to impart on my children, because they're very much like me. They're very open with their opinions. It's like, look, it's great to have your opinions, but sometimes you can't change things from the outside. So standing there bitching about how bad things are from the outside doesn't do you any good. No good at all. It's better to get ahead. But you shouldn't have to kiss ass. It sucks. That sucks. But that's the way the world works. I shouldn't have to kiss ass. Well, good luck in the position you're in, because that's where you're going to stay. Monk did his minimum. It's just his minimum was everyone else's best. Yeah, you're not wrong about that. That's not to toot my own horn. I was very good. My department numbers always went up. Even when the rest of the store went down, mine was going up, because I knew how to sell to people. I knew, and this is what Walmart has lost. We were there yesterday we went to Walmart, and it is sad how bad that store looked. It wasn't clean. The shit that's on the displays is crap nobody wanted. This is Thanksgiving, and I ran grocery for 2 years, and there's certain things you need to have in your action alley. And of the ones that you need, the only one they had was stovetop. You should have green beans there. You should have fried onions there. You should have cream of mushroom soup there. That's just for one dish that is hugely popular in this area. Do you guys like, what is that called? Green bean casserole? I don't eat that shit because it has cream of mushroom soup in it. It looks very good, and I like the fried onions. You should have a display of corn up. You should have a display with your little turkey oven bags. This is all simple stuff. You don't even have to be good at retail to know this. And they didn't have any of that shit except stovetop. And they had that halfway through their action alley. So like more than a quarter of the way to the back of the store. I'm like, good God, man. I make it with cream of chicken soup. You know, I've thought about trying it that way, Faithless, but the only one who would eat it is me, that lives in the house currently. And I'm not about to make a whole dish just for me like that, because I wouldn't finish it. I just want it for a serving. Maybe I'll come to your house and just get a serving one day, Faith. Just show up and be like, I need my cream of chicken, green bean casserole. Ever tried tater tot hot dish? I don't know what that is. You'd have to explain to me what it is. Cream of celery would work better. I've never tried cream of celery soup, and it just doesn't sound like something I'd like. I love celery, but in that kind of. What dishes do you guys have that aren't really traditional? Ours, my favorite one, and it's one of the reasons I love Thanksgiving, is what Lady Monkey calls broccoli cheese rice. You take cream of chicken and an equal amount of milk, and you pour that in, and you get it cooking. And you take an equal amount of rice and you pour it in there, and you stir it all up, and you wait till the rice gets soft. And then you dump in a shit ton of Velveeta and a bunch of broccoli that's been chopped up, and you bake it until there's a nice crispy spot on top. And that shit is nummy. It weighs 100 pounds in your stomach, but oh my God, I can't get enough. Cannot get enough of that shit. Anything but mushrooms would work better. Yeah. I don't understand people like mushrooms. I just, no. My family's boring as hell with dishes. Fair enough. Alcoholic sweet potatoes. Like just made with alcohol, or do you pour it on top so it's do you bake it with it so the alcohol boils out and you just taste it, or do you use it as a gravy? Bunch of rum doesn't even cook off. Jesus Christ. Okay, fair enough. I like pickled broccoli stems. You guys ever pay attention to the fact that we pickle a lot of things, but we only call pickled cucumbers pickles? Isn't that weird? It bothers me. I mean, we pickle eggs and pig's feet, and what else do people pickle all kinds of shit, but it's only a pickle if it's a cucumber. It's always bothered me. Pickled yams. I don't know if I'd try that. I'm not even a big yam fan. It would get confusing. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, but wouldn't it make more sense to call them pickled cucumbers as well? That's all I'm getting at. Why did we just pick one thing to call the pickle and everything else is just a pickled whatever it is? That should be a pickled cucumber. I get what you're saying. But I'm just trying to pickled pickles. Yes. Oh, Monk, think of what you just described, but add some pan-fried chicken cutlets as the base of that bake. We've done that before, but without the Velveeta. You make that same thing, but without the cheese, and you put that in as the bottom. You put that in the bottom of a pan, and you cook chicken in it. Oh, it's tasty. That question is a real pickle, right? And it's bothersome to me. I'm just saying. I don't like things that don't make sense. Speaking of things that don't make sense, do you guys have children in the room right now? Because you're watching my show, so you shouldn't. Today, right now is a good time to tell them to turn away. You know what? I would do my best to keep this, my portion of it. You guys can put what you want in chat, but my portion of it as vague as possible. I saw an argument today from a chick with no children, because of course that's where this came from, about the myths around the 25th of next month. You guys get what I'm getting at? I don't need to spell it out more than that. I'm one of those people that thinks you let children be children as long as you can. Let them have the mythologies of childhood. And this one specifically being the 25th of next month. And this chickie's like, I really don't think you should lie to children about that. I don't think it serves any purpose. Shut your millennial ass up. I'm so tired of this fucking stupid shit. Your children are not your drinking buddies. That's a line I literally stole from Scrubs, which is part of where my argument. Have you guys ever seen the episode of Scrubs where Dr. Cox is running around talking about he's not going to bullshit his child? We need to bullshit our children. They're children. You don't need to be having normal grown-up conversations. And then Lauren Chen pipes in. She's like, yeah, we don't have to actually lie. We can explain it to them. You're going to explain that thing to a 3-year-old, to a 4-year-old, to a 5-year-old? How about just let them have some imagination? Now, there was one person, and I don't know if he's in chat, but Terry Diamandis, he chimed in and said when he found out, he was 5. And at the time, he'd been getting in trouble for lying, and he didn't see the difference. And that's kind of fair. That's kind of fair, except that is, and I don't mean to insult if you're out there, Terry, I don't mean to insult your parents. But this is a time when it's a teaching moment for a parent to explain the difference between make-believe and a lie, which one is typically for fun and the other one is typically to try to keep yourself out of other trouble that you've already gotten into. The idea that, this is bad for children. Stop it. Just knock it off. Just say you're too fucking cheap to buy presents, okay? Or that You're too fucking egotistical to share the credit with someone else. Because that's what this shit boils down to. I cannot lie to my children. Fuck you. You're going to lie to your children about a whole bunch of stuff. You're going to tell them that dad plowed you last night? That's what the moaning they heard was? Probably not. Hopefully not. But goddamn, man. They're your children, not your buddies. That's not your friend. Let them have some fucking childhood, man. We've taken all of it away from them. And now you want to take that mythology away from them too? Somebody even said, you can even take them to the mall to see them. Why would you? Why? At that point, if you're just going to blow the whole thing, why even engage? Just be like, none of this is real. Yeah, Bubba. And again, I'm not going to read that out because there are people who listen to this with children around. Speaking of that, my daughter listened to yesterday's show, and the youngest was there. I don't remember if you guys remember how yesterday started. Yesterday's show started with Jack saying the words rectal itching. Guess what my granddaughter immediately repeated? Oh, shit. Yeah, I just need to tell her, don't repeat anything you hear on Grandpa's show. Yeah, it's a little 4-year-old. Rectal itching. Whoopsie. And again, I'm not one of those people that thinks you need to keep all conversation away from a child. I grew up in a house where it was, do not say these words. You just teach them, don't say these words. Adults are allowed to say things that children aren't. That's why around my granddaughters, I do try to curb my profane inclinations. Let's call them that. But when my children were little, I didn't do that. And there is a reason. There is a reason. Back then, I used to work. And when I did work, I was much less likely to swear than I do now. And now I just don't give a damn. I swear all the time because who's going to fire me for telling somebody to go fuck themselves? So I do try to curb it so I sound more like I did when I was a father than a grandfather. Than a grandfather. But I don't curb everything I say. Like, no, those are words that grown-ups use. You don't use them. And I think that's another thing that we got away from that we need to. Children and adults are not the same. We shouldn't be treating them the same. And Big Joe, not Susan, whoever the guy is, I guess he could fire me because Susan left, remember? Monkey, I want to speak to your manager. That's Lady Monkey, and she'll tell you right out that she can't control me. So good luck with that. Society and language tolerance for swearing has drastically changed in the last 20 years. That's true. That is true. There's a lot more swearing just in general. When I go out in public, I try not to. That doesn't mean that occasionally a fuck doesn't pop out, but I try not to be profane because there's children and stuff around. There was a time when you didn't swear in front of women or children, even women being around like, ooh, sorry, lady. I didn't mean to use that coarse language in front of you. There's room for civility still. Now, the stuff you guys hear on this show is probably the most profane I get when I'm just talking in general. I'm not like this, but yeah. My parents openly swore while I was in their care, and they said, "Don't repeat that." Yeah, just teach them. Hey, that's not something you say. But again, I try not to do it in front of children. And when my children were younger, I was much more. It's amazing how freeing it is. You guys ever see the episode of South Park where Cartman pretends to have Tourette's and then he can't stop himself? Life really is like that. If you can just say this word, then it becomes part of your vocabulary, and stopping it is really hard. It's incredibly hard. So yeah, when I was younger, I mean, that doesn't mean I never swore. Of course I did, because it's me, bastard son of a sailor over here. but it was much more couched than it is now. So when the children are around, I I still say the words and I'll hear them like, ooh, my bad. But I do try to curb it a little bit because while I don't think it's wrong to swear in front of children, I don't think you should necessarily just be doing it for the fun of doing it. Even now, I'm more likely to say freaking hell than fucking hell. Yeah. If that becomes how you say it, that's what you say. We're a weird, we're a weird species. I was a teenager before I heard my dad swear, and he was in the Navy. I was probably less than 5 the first time I remember my dad swearing. And he didn't do it all the time. My dad was not an angry man. And when I say angry, I don't necessarily even mean like I'm gonna kill you, kids. No, I mean my dad was a very gentle soul, unless he was working on something. If he was trying to fix something, and dad trying to work on the car, dad could work on cars, but you get a bolt that just won't bust, and oh, dad, all of his Navy words came out, man. All of them came out. But I did hear a lot of swearing when there would be like a division party. For those who don't know what that means, when you're in the Navy and you go on a ship, there's different divisions on the ship, and once a year they would have a division party for each of them. And what that usually meant is a whole bunch of drinking, loud music, and people swearing. My 3-year-old nephew will tell people to fuck off, even though he can't pronounce the word off properly. Wow. I do have a problem with that stuff. You guys seen that? I mean, you see it on TikToks and YouTube videos where it's like, look at my son telling people to go fuck themselves. Like, you're a bad parent. You should not be teaching. It's like, no, my kid tells it how it is. He's 3. He's 3. He doesn't know how it is, dumbass. All you're doing is teaching your child to be an asshole. I don't cuss around kids or moms, and that's fair. That's fair. Dragon Mage, thank you so much. Millennials don't want kids to believe in the myth we talked about earlier, or the one that comes around with eggs, because millennials are nihilistic twats who hate other people having hope and fun. That's, you know what? You're probably right about that. Probably right about that. The nihilism that has taken over is, who was it I saw the other day? I can't remember. Somebody sent us a video, and it was this guy talking about how when you get rid of all religion, what seems to have replaced it is still a religious kind of fervor, but it's, your anti or your SJW kind of nonsense, your woke bullshit. And I'm like, yeah, that's easy to see. And most of what seems to have taken over, whether it's conservative or liberal, is all nihilistic. It's so depressing. Like, nothing, everything sucks. Nothing's ever going to get better. Who wants to be around you? And I'll be honest, most of the people I see like this are chicks, and they're hot chicks, and people are like, yeah, you make so much sense. Like, shut up. You just want to see her naked. What she just said was stupid. And gentlemen, we need to talk because y'all are dumb. Y'all are really dumb. This is when I say you guys need to learn to tell women no. There's a lot of hot women out there. A lot of them are smart. Stop just agreeing with every dumb woman out there because she has boobies you want to see. Seriously. Y'all are fucking up the world. You're letting the dumbest of the dumb get away with shit because they look cute. And I'll tell you what, most of them don't actually look that cute. You're enticed by the makeup they're wearing. If they peeled it off, they look like me, including the beard. So knock it off. Women are not that hard to get their attention. All you got to do is treat them like humans. No, I gotta bow to her every whim. No, you don't. You really don't. In fact, you shouldn't. You should question what anybody says, male or female, you dumb son of a bitch. This is why I say, women have ruined the planet, but it's men's fault because you guys go along with this shit. And I'm tired of it. And it's on both sides of the aisle. It's on every fucking subject that you can find. There'll be a whole bunch of simpy little bastards out there like, she's so smart. Like, she just said that the sun rises in the north. She's not smart. She's a tard. Why are you oh, boobs. I see. All right. I got you. The one who kicked off this whole myth thing we were talking about on the 25th of next month. She's cute. She's dumb as a rock, but she's cute. And she occasionally says the right things for the right. And I'll just tell you, it's Ashley St. Clair. That chick's an idiot. And she's cute. And that's why everybody thought, she's so smart. No, she's not. She has boobs. It's like Twitter is like watching that episode of South Park where Bebe gets boobs. And suddenly all the guys like, I never realized how smart she was. It's so annoying. Gentlemen, have some self-respect. There's tons of women out there. And you don't have to act like a fucking retard to get their attention. In fact, most of them won't know you exist when you're doing that because you're just part of the crowd who's telling them how great they are. Your boy Pat says Simps fucked up a lot of things. You're not wrong, man. You're not wrong. You're another one. We haven't talked in a long time, dude. You and I got to get together and have a chat someday. Just a catch-up stream, you know what I mean? Because your boy Pat, if you're not following him, he does a lot of stuff on YouTube. Check it out. I'm pretty sure you can get to all of his channels if you go to your boy Pat. Is that still your main channel? But hopefully you have your other channels linked on the main page. You just scroll all the way to the bottom and you can see linked accounts. So check out your boy Pat. I love Pat. Pat's good people, man. But yeah, you're not wrong. The whole notion that you just have to agree with women. Gentlemen, you do realize that women like strong men, right? How many times do we have to tell you guys that even the lefty women who are like, I want a man to be a woman, when they actually find a guy like that, they're like, oh my God, where's a real man? Why isn't he acting like a real man? Stop just agreeing with him. Fuck. The number of people that I saw in this, like, yeah, she's so right. No, she's not. She's dumb. She's dumb. She just happens to have a nice rack. She puts on a whole bunch of makeup. She wears high heels, so that flat ass of hers pokes out a little bit in pictures. And she repeats some Republican talking points now and then. And then when she goes off on her own and when she goes off script, she just sounds like a fucking idiot. But Elon likes her, man. Elon wants to tap that one hard. Oh, my God. And I don't blame him, man. He's not doing it for the clout. He's just like, that's a hot chick I want to bang. And he will. Anyway, what are we doing? Okay, we're an hour and 15 in. I still ask my mother for permission to curse around her. I started cursing when I was 11. Now I'm 30. My parents swore around me all the time, just told me not to, so I don't. We had an agreement growing up that as long as there were no parents around, we could all swear. We just would, and we wouldn't tell on each other. And it worked our whole childhood. And I didn't know this at the time, but it turns out a lot of siblings end up with a kind of deal like that. I didn't swear around my dad until my mom died. And my dad let me get away with it. He probably shouldn't have, but he was dealing with a lot of shit too. Mom died, and then my brother died 6 months later. Mom dies in August. My brother died in February of the same 12-month period. And so dad kind of checked out, and I got to do whatever I wanted to. In my family, my children were allowed to swear when they turned 18. Once they turned 18, I didn't give a shit. But before that, like, no, nuh-uh. It was funny because one day I'm sitting out on my computer and I'm in the room that my youngest son had growing up. And he's in this room and I'm just down the hall at the computer and he's playing Xbox. And suddenly I start hearing what sounds like sailor talk. I'm just going to put it that way. And I just calmly walked down, knocked on his door. Like, hey, Bubba, what? Like, I can hear you. Oh, and that was it. And then he stopped. He didn't do it anymore. Like, you might want to keep that swearing down a little bit because mom's gonna hear you. And there's gonna be a problem. Mom's gonna make me have a conversation. Mom's gonna make me come nag you because moms don't just let it go that easy. Not most of the time. Because moms are smarter than us when it comes to that stuff. We really should be a little harder on the children from time to time, or at least I probably should have. Anyway, we didn't come here for parenting advice. That just pissed me off because another one of these fucking stupid ass millennials who think they know everything. I know everything. This is how you should have raised your kid. Oh, who else did I see? Fuck, who was that was whining? Oh, Zuby, who I usually like. He gets into an argument with people because he has no children, he's not married, but he's out there giving advice. And somebody's like, it's always you people with no kids who give this stupid advice. And he goes, oh, so what you're saying is that if I don't have kids, I can't have an opinion. It's like, no, that's not what it is. It's that if you don't have kids, you don't know. You really don't. You can sit there and look at the situation and go, this is how I would react. But parenting and marriage, because they talked about marriage too. These are two things, until you've done them, you really have no idea what it's like. And he said well, I know because I was a child, so I was parented. Yeah, let me tell you, as somebody who has 3 children, the way that I deal with my daughter, my oldest son, and my youngest son, all 3 of them are different because all 3 of them have different personalities. And what worked with my daughter didn't work with my middle son or my youngest son. And what worked with my youngest son didn't work with my oldest son and my daughter. Real quick, thank you, your boy Pat. The wild part is, Monkey, is the guys that disagree with women are the ones that get to fuck them because regardless of what she says, women still crave a man that will stand his ground and not be a doormat. Those men end up in chaps facing the wall. Yeah. If women actually wanted to date women, they just would. There's plenty of women out there. And thank you, Evolved Potato. When I turned into a teenager, my parents didn't care if we swore, just as long as we didn't swear at people. Like, stub your toe, you drop something, swear away, but don't say fuck you to a person. And yeah, that's fair too. Again, there's all kinds of different parenting styles on that. But Zuby and he was very offended that somebody suggested that you just don't know. And it very much reminded me of a child. Because children, they have all these ideas about how things should be done, and they grow up and they have to, go into the real world and experience things. And it is a matter of not having experience. Yes, you can look at how children behave and go, well, you should do this. And then you have your own child and you do that, and it doesn't work on that kid because it's different for every child. Parents, y'all know, unless you only had one kid. But it's the expertise in marriage that always makes me laugh because it always comes from single people, and most of the time they don't even have like a significant other. It's somebody who's like single. Like the last time I had a sexual intercourse, it was with my hand single. And they always have, look, this is how you make a relationship work. Really, tell me about that. Tell me all your knowledge about how to make a relationship work. I'll sit here with my 30 years of marriage and defer to your single ass. Good morning, Devil. How you doing? The biggest feminist would quickly sleep with a guy that just destroyed her in a debate. She may do it behind closed doors, but she will. Yeah. Look, gentlemen, women like a confident man. That's what they like. Take all of the other shit out, whether it's personal appearance, bank account, whatever. They like a strong man. And confidence is how you show that. And I'm a nice looking guy. I'm not the greatest looking guy. I don't have, like something that would make children run and scream. but I'm passable. But I'm also incredibly confident, and it just comes off in the way I walk, in the way I talk. And yeah, women like me. It's not because I'm the Chad with, bulging biceps and man titties that I can actually make my chest dance, but that's beside the point. It's not that. It's the confidence. Women like confidence, gentlemen. It's just true. They like humor. They do like some of them. Some of them really like money. They like security, but what they like is confidence, and that is shown in poll after poll after poll after poll, going all the way back as long as polls have been asking about this. They like confidence. Now, gentlemen, don't confuse that with being an asshole. Yeah, Rogue. Confidence, not arrogant. It does work. Yeah, and there is a difference between confidence and arrogance. And in fairness, Rogue thought a lot of women like arrogant guys because it is confused with confidence. Do the women in chat agree? Okay, here. Women in chat only. Give me a 1 if you like confident men. Give me a 2 if that's not something you ever consider. And while y'all are doing that, I'm going to go over to my fridge here and get my drink. I can still talk to you. It's just going to feel like I'm moving away because I am. Da-da-da. I'll put it back in the fridge after the end of the show. But I need more of the nectar of the gods here. Look at that. See, women like confidence. And you don't even need the women to actually tell you. You can watch it. If you've ever been in a situation where there's a lot of people together, say like a party when you were in high school or something, the women react to the confident guy. And again, that doesn't mean you got to be loud or brash or a jerk. Just, your head held up, your chest out, not slinking in a corner like, oh my God, nobody likes me. Not when you act like that. Confidence is a good thing. It is. And it's a quality that they're trying to beat out of men. 3 for assholes, monkey for gods. Well, again, a lot of times confidence and arrogance do get mixed up because they look a lot alike. And unfortunately, this is the bad boy argument. Like, oh, women only like bad boys. No, that's not what it is. It's the confidence that those guys show. Because those guys don't give a damn. And women confuse that with, oh my God, he's so confident. Like, no, that guy's an asshole. That guy's an asshole. And you'll find that out if you hang out with him. But back to the marriage thing. All of those of you who are married, give me a 1 if it was exactly like you thought it was going to be, or really close to what you thought it was going to be. Give me a 2 if it was harder than you thought it was going to be. Because I'll be honest with you, I always just assumed I'd end up married. I got married very young. I got married when I was 18. Been married for how old am I? I'm 38, 30 or 40. I've been married for 30 years right now. 30 fucking years. And it's been hard. It's much better now that we're older and our egos have settled down. I married a strong woman. And yeah, we butted heads a lot. A lot of it's been great. I don't want to give the impression that, oh my God, it was just hard times all the time. It wasn't. The 90% of my marriage has been smooth sailing. She likes me. I like her. Can't wait to see her in the morning. It's that other 10% like, can't believe that bitch said that to me. And her saying similar things about me. I'm not perfect by any means. But it's been a struggle at times. And what's kept us going is that we wanted to keep going. That's what it is. It's not like we had some magic. It's not like we were soulmates or any of that nonsense. It's that we still wanted to be together. Like, she's being an asshole to me, but I still love her. I'd rather be with her than not with her. And she's been the same way. He's a douchebag, but I love him. It's not easy. And a lot of people look at marriage like, well, this is how I would do it. This is how you make marriage work. Bitch, you can't even make a relationship work. How the fuck are you going to tell me how to make a marriage work? It's amazing. Some of you guys have seen it over on Twitter. The number of people that'll get into an argument with me about how to make a marriage work. People who have no relationship. Like, you're just an incel. Like, really? Huh? Well, I've got to talk to my wife about that. You're just a dumb incel. Like, you're fucking stupid. And I don't like stupid people. Anyway, I was looking at headlines because, oh, wait. Somebody sent me a DM over on Twitter. Who's DMing me during a show? Oh. Oh, I'll check that out later. I will check that out later. She sent me the thing about the Yankees wife swap. And I don't usually share what's in those, but we talked about it on the show already. So my grandfather told us Kias are made from beer cans he left in Korea. They probably are. And I went to kids because I know there's a lot of kids that GI's made over there in Korea. Oh, man. Irish police arrested 34 in Dublin rioting follows stabbing outside of school. That's what we talked about briefly earlier. Apparently, there's Kenya flooding right now. LA man who defended home from armed intruders faces uphill battle to get gun permit back. That sounds about right. There's no reason I can't show you guys what I'm reading. Just to give you guys something else to look at besides just my beautiful monkey. Murder suspect left alone in interrogation room lets bodily functions run wild, and there's a video. Oh, wonderful. Tens of thousands of protesters demand a restoration of Nepal's. Ew. This is shit I don't care about. The temporary truce is going on over there. Wonderful. I don't care about most of this shit. I will throw this into chat for you guys. It is a really good resource to find the headlines that are going on at the time. Like what? And this one isn't like Drudge where it's curated. This is just an aggregate. So as stories pop up from different places that this is pulling from, the headlines just pop up on here. What site is that? It's the one I just put in there, Jeff. As holiday shopping begins, Black business owners hope shoppers don't forget them. Okay. You know what? Pat the other day, that's a good place. See, I like this because it brings up other topics, not necessarily even what we're reading. Pat the other day put up a tweet. He retweeted somebody who asked, would you buy, I think it was Asian food. Would you buy Asian food from these two? And it was a picture of two Black women. He said, what was it? Would you buy Asian food from these two if they own the restaurant or something like that? Basically, would you buy Asian food if Black people cooked it? And maybe if you go back to the 50s and 60s, you can see people who make an argument, oh, don't go to that Black business. As long as the food is good, if I go to a Chinese restaurant and two honkies walk out, or two Black people walk out, or two Latino people, I don't give a shit. Just, is the food good and how expensive is it? Because that's how I decide where I'm going to eat. Do they make the food well? Exactly, DK. That's the question. But clearly the question here was, would you buy Asian food made by the Black peoples? Like, yeah, if it's good. And in my experience, Black people cook very well. Now, I haven't had food cooked by any Black people in a long time because I live in a very, very, very white neighborhood. Not on purpose. It's just where we moved. But our neighbor, Miss Jackie was what we called her. She made the best food. Oh my God. I'm surprised I did not get fat when I was 10 years old because she was our next door neighbor and she baked all the time. Oh, it was so tasty. And then I had one of my favorite cooks was my friend in high school, one of my best friends. He was Puerto Rican. And his mom could take the most boring looking dish and turn it into something tasty. She's the first place I ever had beans and rice. And I'm like, it's beans and rice. How can this taste good? But I loved her and I wasn't going to be rude. So I ate the food that I was offered. And holy shit, it was tasty. I do not understand people who won't go, like, if you're going out shopping, right? And you're like, well, we can go to Walmart where we know they don't have this, or we can go to black owned business where they might have it. Oh, let's go to Walmart and see if we can find something else. Why wouldn't you go to the black owned store? Now, the only caveat there is because it's in the hood and I might get shot. And that's fair. That's fair. They were hiring that day. Anyway, yeah, I don't understand that. It's 60 years since you should be doing this shit. But we saw that. Remember the story we saw about the two girls? I want to say they were white, but don't quote me on that. Who went down to Mexico and they learned from this one tortilla guru, I guess we'll call her, how to make these really good tortillas. And then they came up here and they made a business with it. And people were like, oh, there's white girls making tortillas. And they learned it in Mexico. They've stolen this from the Mexican girl. Okay, two things. One, your dumbass isn't going down to Mexico. Let's be honest. You're not going to go down there. So shut up and eat your tortilla. And two, they didn't steal it. They talked to the lady and she taught them how to do it. And they came up here and made it. Faithful says Portland or Seattle. I want to say it was Seattle. And yeah, they got shut down because of that stupid shit. Oh my God, there's white people making tortillas. Let's go have some nachos. Hey guys, you know where nachos were invented? It's a bastardization of Mexican food made right here in America. And the same kind of people that would bitch about that would love them some nachos, I promise. Let's go to Taco Bell. Yeah. You're really diverse. And I love Taco Bell, don't get me wrong, but if that is your diversity in eating, you're not diverse at all. Sorry, fucking weather. I was outside. That shit'll fuck up my nose every time. Did that not happen with the sushi place in New York? Somebody else mentioned it happening in New York. Probably. And I don't fucking understand why. But these people, hey, how dare you? How dare you do that? Well, you know, if that Mexican lady had come up here and made her tortillas, she probably would have sold them. She didn't. She's selling them in Mexico. Would it be okay if those white girls came up with their own tortilla recipe? Or is it just that it was a tortilla that they learned how to make in Mexico from Mexicans? What if she learned how to make it from a white girl in Mexico? Those do exist. Would it be okay then? You're stealing our culture. No, they're not. They're learning and making a profit off of it in a different place. Shut up. I live in fucking Michigan, okay? I live in bumfuck Michigan, a tiny little town. There's less than 5,000 people where I live. And some of the best restaurants around are run by white people who sell dishes that are not white people food. I don't even think there's a place around here that sells haggis. I can show you lots of people that sell General Tso's chicken. Lots of people who sell nachos and, well, that's an American food, who sell burritos. And it's tasty. No, you live in the middle of white country. You can only have meatloaf. Fuck you. You're retarded. Frankly, it's just because they're white and not the food. Well, this was also during the, remember, the whole cultural appropriation thing started because of Halloween. People are wearing costumes on Halloween. Are you for real? Call the police. Call the police quickly, because we need to get some of that shit in there. We gotta make sure that white people are only dressing as white people, and black people can only dress as black people. So they got 4 costumes. There's a white kids wearing sombreros that pissed everybody off on Halloween. Like, fuck off. You're not actually even mad about it. You just don't like white people. You don't see that, like a black person wearing a sombrero and and all of the white people out there. And remember, the people who started this shit, they tend to be white. Anytime you see this bitching, they tend to be white. Like, you fucking white people. Oh, you know what? That reminds me. I do want to bring up this. Because we need to talk about racist white people for a minute. And I'm not talking people who are accused of racism. I'm talking about real fucking racism. It's a Reddit thread, I believe. How far down is that? It wasn't that long ago. It's one. Oh, here it is. Now, I don't know how long ago this was posted, and we've read things like it before, but it's worth reading again. Alan, thank you so very much. Who says morning? Good morning, sir. I appreciate it. This is Uplift Trans Voices 2. That's their name, because of course it is. I'm going to own up to this because I'm not going to make the person I hurt do it. Someone had a hot take about my Jesus is communist post. Of course you posted that. I didn't agree and tried to explain it while also saying they shouldn't take everything on Facebook seriously. I spoke down to them. I found out after blocking that they're POC. As a white person, it is not my place to speak down to a person of color, even if I disagree with them. I was wrong with how I handled it. They came at me aggressively. Catch that point? They came at me aggressively, and instead of taking the time to think, I fired back, which is something I'm used to doing to other white admins who step out of line. Except this admin is not Caucasian. So obviously I apologized. And I highly recommend following this person because they have a small following. Nico Campen, you don't have to accept my apology. I realize I was wrong, and I ask you to leave the comment up for accountability's sake so my followers can see how I messed up. And I ask my followers to please go follow Nico. This is racism. No, devil, it's not white guilt. Flat out racism. If you treat people differently based on the color of their skin, that's racist. Period. Look, I was just telling you guys how much I love Pat. If Pat said something stupid, I would tell him, dude, that's fucking stupid. The only change in how I talked with him would be the fact that he's my friend, not that he's my black friend. You know why? Because I fucking respect that man. And I will treat him like I treat everybody else. Because that's how you should treat people. This is fucking, it's insulting to be like that. Oh my God, I can't talk to the Negro that way. I talk to a Negro? Oh my God. I mean, me talking to white people like that's fine. Then what's the difference with talking to a black person that way? And they don't even say black, they just say POC. So I'm assuming black. It could have been Asian. I don't know. But let's be honest, it was probably a black person. But they came at you aggressively. And what? And Monkey and I have disagreed. I still remember the female golfer disagreement. Yeah, we've disagreed before. And I wasn't condescending to you because you're black. I wasn't like, oh, look, Pat, I get you're a black man. I'm not supposed to argue with you. So you know what? I think you're wrong, but I'm just going to leave it at that because I'm white and I've put my nuts in a bag and just let everybody else tell me how and when I'm allowed to use them. It is absolutely racist to treat people differently because of their race. You fucking shitbags. The fuck is wrong with you? And Monk is still wrong about cereal being soup. No, I'm not. I'm 100%. Cereal is soup. It is breakfast soup. They don't really mean person of color. No. What they really mean is inferior person. Keldrick, thank you. You know you're dealing with a real intellectual powerhouse when they start with Jesus is communist. Yes, thank you, Keldrick. Look, I've said this many times on Twitter. If you come at me hard, I'm coming back hard. I am, and I'm going to be mean to you, and I'm probably going to make you cry and make the audience laugh. If you come at me with a genuine discussion, then I will discuss it with you. I let you set the tone. Now, that's not always, because sometimes I see somebody post something and they're stupid, like Brian Stelter, and I will just insult that man when I get the chance. But if it's some rando that's just wanting to discuss things, if you're nice with me, I'll be nice with you. I'll show you what I disagree with, and we'll have a conversation. I don't give a rat's ass what color you are. I care how you're treating me. And you came at me, they came at me aggressively, so I answered back like I would to a white person. Then that is how you should have answered back. For you're upset that you treated them like you would treat somebody else. How do you not get that that's racist? I mean, you know, I guess if that's how you want to be, you want to run through your life treating people they got a different color of skin. They're too fragile. They're too fragile, and you can actually break a black person in half. They'll just crack and shatter on the floor if you talk to them like you talk to a white person. Jesus fucking Christ, man. It's amazing how much we call it white guilt, but it's not even that. It's just flat out racism. How much racism we see from the left. Do you not respect them? Is that what it is? You don't respect them as people? But being colorblind is racist. Mr. Hugh, there's no you in color. Goddamn Canadians. Or Australians or British. I don't know. But yeah. If you treat everybody the same, that's racist. How the fuck did we get there? Seriously. I mean, I know it came from academic bullshit. I saw somebody the other day blame this on black people. Like, black people did this. No, they didn't. This came from white academia. Academia. It's academia. Am I saying that right? Academia. Academia sounds better. It came from colleges and thinkers. It came from books by white people who are like, you guys have all the white guilt. Robin DiAngelo and her white guilt bullshit. Like, no. It's you assholes. You fucking assholes out there who decided that treating everybody the same is wrong. You're the ones who did it. Black people followed you. You had people like Kendi come up and be like, oh, white people are this dumb? I bet I could sell them this stupid shit. And he did. He sold a whole lot of shit. I saw a article, that chick who used to host the parties where she'd have white girls pay her like $10,000 so she could come into their house, eat their food, and have them explain their white guilt to her. She was upset that she was getting pushback now. Like, people, they're calling me racist now. Well, you are racist, you fucking asshole. Women were paying this bitch $10,000 to feed her and tell them how racist they are. These rich white women. Ugh. If you have that kind of money, you could have actually done something. Take that $10,000 and go give it to a shelter. Go give it to a youth program. You could have done something meaningful. Instead, what you did is go tell this lady you fed her dinner after you gave her $10,000. You fed her dinner, and then told her, sometimes if I'm in an elevator and there's a black person, I get scared. And by the way, if you get scared because there's a black person in the elevator, you're a retard. Oh, that's fucking stupid. We're going to finish with this story. Speaking of elevators, when we went to see when we went to see Cranbaby, and we had the middle little with us, who's now one of the middle littles, I guess. But we had the middle little with us, and we go into the elevator because we had to go up to the second floor. And apparently she hasn't been in an elevator very much. As soon as the doors closed, she got scared and she glued to my body. And so I picked her up and I held her and I made noises and we goofed around the whole way up. And she laughed and she got okay with it. She actually wanted to ride it back down, but we didn't have to because this hospital's built weird. But it was so cute. She got scared and immediately, Grandpa will save me. Like, I'm the cripple. You really should have glued yourself to Grandma, because she's probably way more likely to be able to save you from anything. But I'm big. I'm, a foot taller than my wife, almost. She's like 5'2". But it's so cute when they don't know that Grandpa's crippled. They're just like, Grandpa can save me. And Grandpa would do everything he could, but I'm probably the least likely to be able to do it. Oh, guys, thank you for coming and hanging out. Elevators make me dizzy as hell. I don't mind elevators. I mind getting off elevators on high floors where I can see how high up I am. I would ride an elevator to the 100th floor as long as I didn't have to get off and look out and see that I'm on the 100th floor. If I ever got rich, like rich people got to go live in penthouses at the top of giant towers. My ass would be on the bottom where the poor people are because I don't like heights. Nah, fuck that. Anyway, I kind of like Richard Gere in Pretty Woman. We were talking about Pretty Woman the other day. Aren't you claustrophobic? Don't elevators bother you? No. I'm only claustrophobic in really tight spaces. Something like an elevator doesn't bother me. Being in a crowd doesn't bother me. As long as I have room to move around, I'm okay. It's if I have no room to move. That's when I'm no. That fucks me up. So my claustrophobia is not near as bad as my fear of heights. What's the fear of heights called? Does anybody know? I have no idea. I'm sure there's a word for it. Loving an elevator. Yeah, Lady Monkey's not that adventurous. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for the donations. You guys are fucking awesome. I really do appreciate it. I really do hope you guys had a great holiday. For those of you in America, I know most of you didn't have that. But thank you. You guys are awesome. And height phobia. It is not height phobia. Stop it. Arachnophobia. Oh, so like arachnophobia without the end. Gotcha. Okay. Fear of heights is sensible. It is, because heights can cause serious damage to you. It's far more sensible than claustrophobia is. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for hanging out. Thank you for everything. You guys are awesome. All the support. God, we've been here 7 years. And at this time, I believe we've even been streaming that long. No, wait, you know what? I had to look this up the other day. My first stream was in January of 2017. So we're coming up on, oh God, year number 6. Is that what it is? Holy shit. It's been a while. And you guys have been here with me this whole time, and I love you for it. You guys are great. Thank you for all the support. Have a wonderful night. Take care of yourselves. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye now. Here's the song that you like me to sing. I'm not going to talk about my ding-a-ling. And I did, because I can. Bye now.